Hello. PCK in full effect. Today we give you episode 1 of the Mount Rushmore series. And we'll try not to finger your childhood like episode 1, The Phantom Menace, did to some of you really oversensitive assholes.
Wow.
Look, that was my rant for the day. Get ready for episode 1. Hello all. We are the Pop Culture Kings. PCK in full effect. I'm Tank. That's Ice.
How's it going?
We're ready to do some business. Do some business. Episode 1, sir. The Mount Rushmore series. Now, I know some of you are wondering, what's the Mount Rushmore series? Check this out. You know Mount Rushmore, right? With the 4 presidents on it. Okay, can you name all 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore?
You asking me? Or you asking them?
I was looking dead at.
Oh, okay.
I made eye contact and everything. Okay, sir. Do you know who's on Mount Rushmore?
It's is it Roosevelt?
Which one?
Teddy?
Yeah.
Is it Jackson?
No.
No, is that not Jackson? Which one is it?
Washington.
I know Washington and Lincoln. What was the other one? No, it's the third president. What was his name? I'm gonna edit this part out. No,
Jefferson.
There you go, Jefferson. Dang it.
Okay. Now, with the Mount Rushmore series, this is comic book superheroes. Who are the four comic book superheroes that managed to be bigger than the comic book industry, bigger than their so-called industry? The characters that you know on sight. You know, you look up and you go, you look up on the Plymouth Rock of superheroes, and you're like, oh, I know all of them. That's that, and this. Okay, of course, this is just our opinion, but on our Plymouth Rock, we're starting with number 4, and that is the big guy, Captain America. Talk to him about Captain America, sir.
That's supposed to be Spider-Man, but whatever.
Whatever. Talk to him about Captain America.
Okay. Sir. Basically, how Captain America was formed was in 1941. Basically, we're in the midst of World War II.
Yes.
So basically, a lot of comic books were patriotic. So what did they do? Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Let's make the most patriotic guy we can.
Yes.
Hence, Captain America. I mean,
he was Marvel's version of Superman.
Well, Timely's version at the time, but
yes.
So basically,
ultimately, that's what he became.
Yes, the Timely versions, but so basically, he was, at a time where bad guys everywhere, threat of our nation, so to speak.
And you know what I like about the character? How they've managed to keep him with the times.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Keep him relevant.
Yes, keep him relevant without him getting stale like what happened with Superman, where he became almost impossible to write for because you essentially made him God. But Cap is a lot more human, and his adventures are
a lot more believable.
Yeah. And Superman's comics, for a long time are really, really hokey. Cap's comics always had an edge to them because they were dealing with World War II, and they were to pump up our country. And what Marvel ended up really impressing me with is that how over time they've managed to keep the character relevant. You know what I mean? Because especially now, when I say this, of the Marvel movies right now, the best trilogy of movies they have done, the best comic book superhero movie trilogy, period, is the Captain America series. And you all will find out when you see Captain America Civil War. Cap is the best trilogy. I mean, look, the first Avenger, again, it was good, it was slow, but it was still really good. It's not a bad movie. It's really enjoyable. No, yeah. And Winter Soldier was just currently, that is, I think is the best Marvel movie, but it's the original Avengers, to me, is the most entertaining. But Cap the Winter Soldier has like a more solid story, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I just love how Marvel continues to make him relevant. And dude, because look, I was a big Captain America fan as a kid because I used to watch those cheesy serials from the 1940s. Dude, I have them all. Look, I love those things. Okay, and I watched both of those cheesy Captain America movies that CBS did, and
those are so bad.
The 1990 Captain America movie, which was it's really bad in a really entertaining way. But, and dude, I was so on board with the first Avenger. And again, it didn't disappoint. The movie got better for me as time went on. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, I liked it. It was good. A little slow here and there. But the next time I saw it, I'm like, I like it even more. And now, dude, it's of the three, I'm assuming, because just given from what I've heard from, people that have seen Civil War, that Civil War is a Loki away from being the greatest thing Marvel's ever done.
Loki away.
Yeah. The only complaint I've heard about it is
the villain.
The villain is weak. Baron Zemo is weak. But the beauty of this movie is that it's really about the fracture of the team. So, but getting back to Cap, dude, when Winter Soldier happened, I was so over the moon. I'm like, finally, he's Captain America. Because he was cool in First Avenger. He did some cool things in the original The Avengers. I like the dichotomy. I think I wanted more of the him and Tony butting heads.
Yeah, I think they did it a little bit. Yeah,
I think they should have put more of a nail on the head of Tony was essentially jealous because his dad worshipped this guy, and Tony and his dad had that. They butted heads a little bit, and I think he was jealous of his father's affection for Steve. They only allude to it a little bit. I think they should have made that a little bit more clear. But that's just me. That's just a nitpick in a movie that's, pretty much borderline perfect. Between that and The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, I mean, there are so few comic movies that come close to being perfect, but The Avengers pretty much does.
Yeah.
And Cap in that movie, I mean, once the Avengers teamed up, he was Cap.
Yeah, he's like back,
Yes, he's delegating. This is what we do. Dude, I'm like, yes, he's Cap. And dude, when he looked at Hulk and he said Hulk smash, dude, I almost stood up and started screaming. Okay? Dude, I almost had a fangirl moment at a Beatles concert. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, I was about to get all 1980s Motley Crue and show him my tits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
which would have been pretty bad.
He's one of the few people that survived in the Golden Age. Not very many people survived. He even went away for a while.
He went away when the war ended. Then they brought him back and it made it part of the story.
Yeah, because I mean, Man
Out of Time.
Yeah, basically what happens is we're gonna make a character about fucking World War II. When World War II is gone, what are you gonna do? So he lingered on to 49, I think, 50. And then he went away for about 10 years. Then he came back. Like I said, Man Out of Time, which was brilliant. Yeah. Stan Lee brought him back, which was brilliant. He goes, okay, do I belong in this world? And,
and he's been back with that ever since.
Yeah, he's been back since the 60s. Yeah. But,
and dude, again, they've never made it old.
Yeah, and
they've always kept it relevant, and as time goes on, when they kind of do a soft reboot, that is always part of the character. That he was in the 1940s, now he's stuck in the early 2000s, or I remember one point it was the mid 90s.
Yeah,
that was the Ultimate Avengers, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ultimate Avengers in the 90s, and they play with in the first Avengers movie,
Yeah,
and the very end of Captain America
First Avenger.
Yeah,
that was cool.
He wakes up and he's like, "Where am I?" And he see him adjusting to the new, the new world for him, so to speak.
And again, I thought, I really liked the movie. I just thought he underplayed that a little too much because I didn't get the sense of how overwhelming that would have been for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but a little.
It didn't give him that much time at the end, though.
Yeah,
so
a scene that had a lot of emotional weight to it. They kind of used as a tack on. Yeah. Which because I kind of didn't like that, but Other than that, dude, once we got the Winter Soldier, I'm like, he's Cap. He's Cap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's Cap. He's the Marvel love of my life. He's Cap.
Yeah, he's my favorite guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, Captain America.
Yes. And he has that instant recognizability thing happening.
You get that shield.
He has a shield. Oh, dude, just the mask with the A. Everyone, that's Captain America.
Or the shield. Or, if you get a patriotic bike, it's called a Captain America paint job.
On, Plymouth Rock. They'll just have their faces. And you look at Cap's man. Oh, that's Captain America.
Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore, yeah. Plymouth Rock. Sorry. My bad.
So, okay, we're going to put, boom, Captain America.
Captain America. All right, now, the top 3. I know you want to do Spider before Cap, but look, let's not be stupid. Spider-Man's one of the top 3.
Okay, so basically, number 3 is
Spider-Man.
A teenage superhero with problems.
Yes.
We can't do that.
Yes.
Stan Lee's like, yeah, we can.
Yes. A character that is always broke, has a crappy job, has
tons of problems.
Extreme girl trouble. And easily, hands down, the best rogues gallery in all of Marvel. Okay? In all of Marvel, he has the best rogues gallery. And overall superheroes, it's tight between him and Batman, but what puts Batman over the top is the Joker. I'm sorry. The Joker kind of puts Batman over the top in terms of Batman. You got Joker, you got Penguin, you got Catwoman, you got Bane, you got Freeze. Dude, but Spider-Man has the most impressive rogues gallery for Marvel Comics. Because it's news when someone gets cast to play Green Goblin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's, when I forgot his name. The cat that's playing Baron Zemo, when he got announced to be playing Baron Zemo, no offense, the guy's a very talented actor. Just no one's like, okay, who's Baron Zemo? And what does he have to do with anything? When there was talk of Michael Keaton being cast as Vulture and the Marvel Sony collaboration of Spider-Man, it made news.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, Michael Keaton, whoa, Oscar nominee Michael Keaton, whoa, former Batman Michael Keaton may be playing. I mean, sadly, he's the talks fell apart. He's no longer involved, but still, that makes news. You know what I'm saying? Because, dude, with Spider-Man, he's one of those rare, he's a relatable superhero. Yeah. We're never going to know what it's like to go to sleep in the 40s and wake up 50, 70 years later.
Yeah.
We're never going to be, tortured billionaires whose parents get killed in front of them. And obviously, we're not from space. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man is easily the most relatable superhero. His comics dealt with drugs. They dealt with some sort of suicide. They've dealt with untimely deaths lots of times. Dude. And Spider-Man villains are on a level just below Batman villains in terms of how iconic they are. For Batman, for Spider-Man, you have the Green Goblin. Then after the Green Goblin there's a pretty solid battle for number 2. Because Green Goblin's easily number 1.
Yeah, because then you got Doc. Because, it's just not so much that he's Green Goblin's such a powerful villain. He just gets in your head. Yeah. Just like the Joker. Is he ever going to beat Batman in a fight? No. But if you mess with somebody's head...
Yeah. He's the one that psychologically scars you. Okay. With Spider-Man, it's different because if you're going by in the 90s, hands down, it's Venom. But they made Venom an anti-hero now. Yeah. So, but in terms of bad guys, dude, there was a stretch there where Venom was actually challenging the Green Goblin in terms of being the best Spidey bad guy. And hence why they turned him into an anti-hero, because he was that popular. But after Venom, which no offense to Marvel, I never warmed up to Venom being an anti-hero.
Yeah, I just...
because really, the only one for him to really fight is Carnage.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, hell, their Carnage was so bad at one time. Venom and Spider-Man had to team up.
Yeah.
So, like, how you get two enemies team up to fight another enemy?
Carnage is Venom.
Yeah,
it's a serial killer.
Yeah.
A serial killer with psychotic powers. Who'd have thunk it? So, yeah. But after Venom in the 90s, if you're going just by a period of time, in the 90s, Venom will be number 2. Number 3, Doc Ock, in my opinion. Doc Ock, then there's an argument can be made for Electro, an argument can be made for Mysterio, an argument can be made for the Lizard, and who else was there? Sandman.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Kingpin's more of a daredevil, but Kingpin, yeah, he's up there.
Yeah,
he's both. He's both.
Well, his first appearance was in Spider-Man.
That's true. That's true. So. That's a good point. It's kind of like he got ended up relegated to the Daredevil comics. And plus, Kingpin's one of those characters that, look, even Nick Fury doesn't fuck with Kingpin in the comic books. Kingpin's just that guy. He's a necessary evil. Okay?
So, yeah, it's just like, for Marvel, it's definitely, one of the most popular characters because he's so likable.
He's really the most popular character,
yeah. Yeah, he's so likable. Who doesn't like Spider-Man? His merchandise as well. I mean, kids love him.
He's the number one, the numero uno merchandise selling superhero. The next closest guy to him is Batman.
Yeah.
And, I thought, what was it, last year, Spider-Man merchandise sold, I want to say over $9 billion, and Batman sold something like 4.
That's a huge difference.
Yes, because like you just said, kids love it. Kids love Spider-Man.
They love Batman too.
They love Batman, but Batman's more of a teenager. Oh, Batman's cool thing.
Yeah, as the kids will go for that.
Little kids love, with Batman. You ask a little kid to talk like Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
He's like, I'm Batman. So, we put Spider-Man, obviously he's the most popular Marvel character.
Easily.
Super unique, like I said, teenager with problems.
Yes.
They wouldn't let Stan Lee do it in the first place, so he had to sneak it in there.
And he became their most profitable character.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. Dude, I heard in all the Civil War screens so far, when he pops up on screen, everybody goes apeshit.
Yeah, because we finally get one of our characters back in Marvel.
They're like, it's Spider-Man. Kind of like I have my Captain America, come to Jesus moment. Dude, people are having their Spider-Man come to Jesus moment. They're like, oh, it's Peter Parker and Spider-Man and Aunt May's even hot. What? This is too good to be true. Yeah. So you put Spider-Man's face on Mount Rushmore.
There you go. Boom.
And dude, it's like, Spider-Man. Kids, Captain America. Spider-Man! You know what I'm saying? All right. Now,
number 3, we're going to go a little darker now. A lot darker, actually, I should say.
And the reason the Batman is number 2 is because, well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get to number 1. We already know who number 1 is. Yeah. He just happens to be a year older. That's pretty much, the one that started off.
We're gonna get into that because if it wasn't for number 1, there would be no Batman.
Yeah.
So let's just put that right there.
Number 2, right there. It is the Batman. Batman.
Put him on the list.
Batman, master of the impossible. The Batman.
Sometimes I think they make him a little too. I don't know. It's just some things they just.
Okay. Here's what happened in the 1960s. Between 1939 and the 1960s, Batman started out as a little darker. The first Bob Kane comics, he had a gun and he wasn't above popping a cap in somebody, and the character evolved. Along with Bill Finger's now credited additions to the character. He evolved, and in the 1960s, he became the 1960s Batman, which, dude, as a kid, you love it because it's so silly, it's so hokey, and now you watch it as a Batman fan, you're like, but dude, it's fun because as a kid, you loved them.
Yeah,
they're so stupid, but they're so entertaining. And after that, that's pretty much how people knew Batman. then 1986, a guy named Frank Miller happened. And The Dark Knight Returns was the result. People were like, wait, we can do this with a comic book? We can do this with a comic book character? He fights Superman and wins? And he kicks his ass? You know what I'm saying? Well, do the way they did it.
Yeah, well,
so,
not trying to hurt him, nuclear explosion, but yeah, I get it.
He kind of redefined what the character was at the time. And that's the cue Tim Burton took when he made, because Tim Burton, self-confessed, he's not a comic book fan. And if you've seen his comic book movies, you know he's not a comic book fan. Okay, no offense to the man, he's just, that's not his wheelhouse. He was more interested in the creepier aspects of the character.
Go figure.
Yeah. But his movie redefined what Batman was. People thought it was Adam West, and it became Michael Keaton in this dark, almost urban nightmare. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and the movie was a giant success. Like, whoa! Batman's dark. Enter what I think really put Batman over the top. That was the animated series.
Yeah.
1992, the Batman animated series, that put Batman in a whole new stratosphere. That's when he became Master of the Impossible, and it just built from there. That made the character. All the rules of the character that exist now were born from that TV show. Because again, that's, for this generation, that's their Batman. That's the one they grew up with. Because when that hit, I mean, it took all the cool things from the Tim Burton movie, the two Tim Burton movies, Batman and Batman Returns, or Edward Scissorhands with a mask. They kind of cherry picked the best parts of the character. Yeah. And they made this an amalgamation of this really, really awesome badass. You know what I'm saying? Because the saying goes, Superman's shield is a symbol of hope. Batman's shield is a symbol that you're about to get your ass kicked. Okay? And Wonder Woman's is you're about to get your ass kicked by a girl. Okay? But Batman became this character that, you know what? No matter what, I'm going to beat you. And after that, Batman becomes, wow. I mean, because of the animated series and Justice League Unlimited and, movies like Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero. And because of that, Batman was able to survive Batman and Robin. Which summarily killed the film franchise. Batman Forever in 1995 was a big hit, and it sold toys, and it was generally crowd-pleasing. It was a fun movie to see. Then you enter Batman and Robin, which was a really
bad idea.
Gay homosexual acid trip of a movie. And I'm like, oh, that's fine and dandy to make that movie, but don't make it a Batman movie. Putting nipples on the Batsuit in Batman Forever was because the Black Panther suit was cool, but I'm like, what's with the nipples? And then they're almost completely anatomically correct. I'm like, I don't need to see asses that defined when they're getting dressed. And dude, and why is it all the statues in Gotham were naked men? I mean, these big giant dude, that would be intimidating. I'm like, I can't drive under this man's junk. That would just be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But dude, because of the animated series and what Bruce Timm and Paul Dini were doing with Batman, in terms of animation, the character just flourished, and his comic books, they became events. You know what I'm saying? Nightfall and Night's End and all of that stuff. They became, comic book events because it was Batman. And what really got Batman really into the stratosphere. The animated series made him really awesome, but Christopher Nolan made him global. Batman Begins to open the doors like, wait a minute. You made a Batman movie that's just about Batman. It wasn't about the bad guy. It was just about Batman.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked about once how, when I first saw the movie, I wasn't expecting it to be that great. I thought it'd be good.
Yeah.
And I came out of it, I'm like, Batman. Batman. That was Batman. And he was cool. Dude. I mean, I was stammering like an idiot, man. I called my friend. I called my friend Josh. I'm like, dude, you have to see Batman. Oh, is it that good? Dude, you have to see Batman. So I went to see it, with him and his girlfriend. And he's sitting next to me. He's just hitting me. He's like, dude, that's Batman. That's Batman. And so Batman Begins, and then The Dark Knight made Heath Ledger a legend.
Oh, yeah.
An absolute legend. So now, like we were talking about before, it's news when someone gets cast as a Spider-Man villain. It's big time news when someone gets cast as a villain in Batman.
Well, especially the Joker. I mean,
Yeah.
you got an iconic character like that. He's been around since the 40s. He's probably easily the most iconic villain of all time.
And he's easily the most iconic comic book villain, period.
Yeah.
And in terms of overall villain, I can see Darth Vader giving him a run for his money. I can see people get, Hannibal Lecter. But he's top 5. Easily top 5. Easily top 5.
I honestly say between the villains, I'd probably say Vader.
Yeah.
The all-time villain. And Joker probably be second.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Hannibal, it's just like...
Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, dude.
He's creepy and all, but it's just like...
He's in the movie for less than half an hour, and he carries the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, dude.
You're just like Heath Ledger, man. You're just like watching that movie. Just every time he's like, oh, Heath Ledger's on. I mean, dude, not only does he entertain, he does magic tricks.
Dude, I remember the internet exploded, dude.
Oh, yeah.
When the internet exploded.
When I first it was Heath Ledger, I was like...
back Batman. Really, people?
I was like, oh my God, why did they pick him? Then I heard his voice. And the first thing you ever heard his voice, I'm like, wow, that's
I was cool because I know the guy's a good actor.
Yeah. Oh, I like him,
but... He cast
but...
a good actor.
Yeah.
And the first picture of him came out, people didn't like that he was painted and that he had, the scars and that his perma-white wasn't perma-white.
Oh, when I first saw that picture, I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be sick. That's going to be awesome.
During the summer they shot the movie, I kept hearing that Warner Brothers liked the rushes so much that they were considering pushing Heath for an Oscar. And then he died that January. And then, sadly, the movie became his
legacy,
his memorial to the so to speak. And so there was all this pressure that he could win an Oscar because he died and this and I hear the performance is really good, blah blah blah. And when the trailers came out, they're like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
He just
whoa.
Insanely hit it.
And when you saw the movie, I mean, granted, here's how good Heath Ledger was. He was so good that he didn't blow everybody off the screen. He made sure his character worked within the concept of the movie, the context of the movie. His acting was so subtle at times and so on the nose. And dude, it was all of these wonderful things, and dude, he kept it so engaging. You're watching and you're like, I can't take my damn eyes off of this guy. And by the time the movie's over, you're like, what did I just watch?
He does take you through like emotional roller coaster in that movie. It's just like, I mean, at the end where he goes like, he's like gasoline, all that stuff. It's like, it's cheap and he burns the money. Yeah. You could actually see him doing that. Yeah. Other villains, want money.
And like you said, the magic trick.
Yeah, he just bled that character, and it showed how much love he had for that character, and it was a perfect fit.
And dude, and Warner Brothers, it showed how confident they were in not only in his performance in the movie when they released the bank robbery scene when I Am Legend opened, the prologue. Remember? I Am Legend opened only on IMAX. You could see the prologue of the bank robbery from The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. I remember that was a big deal, and Warner Bros. They're like, "Look, we're really confident in what we have," And because I Am Legend came out in December of 2007, and Dark Knight was coming out in June, so dude, they were confident in what they had. Okay, and then of course that hit the interwebs, and I watched it. I'm like, wow. Just that one little shot of him, it's just at the end, you're like, whoa, that gave me shivers. Then you see the movie, dude. It's just completely gobsmacks you. And on top of it, everybody in the movie was really good.
Yeah.
Christian Bale wasn't, he wasn't outclassed. Because, dude, he was still really good as Bruce Wayne. I still love his Batman. I know people that don't like his voice, but, dude, again, ask anybody right now to talk like Batman. I guarantee you they will talk like Christian Bale. They won't talk like Kevin Conroy.
Okay,
they'll
you can't
talk.
do that.
Yes, they'll talk like Christian Bale. Pete Holmes, a big chunk of his career is owed to A, being really talented, and B, his Batman impersonations. Because that's how I heard him. I'm like, oh, who's this? And dude, I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. So, he did the scene where Talia stabs him from The Dark Knight Rises. He's like, but we totally had sex. Watching YouTube, it is hilarious.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. But here goes. Put Batman up there.
Yeah.
Unusual character. He's the first kind of anti-hero, dark superhero. Not everyone back then was kind of cheerful.
Well, he's the only one on Mount Rushmore without powers.
Yeah. Well,
he's the only guy. And again, it's become almost a meme. It's like, who could beat Darth Vader? Batman could.
Yeah.
Who could beat Superman? Batman could. Who could take down the Avengers? Batman could. It's become, Batman has become the master of the impossible of the comic book world, which is awesome because it fits the character.
Yeah, but
it fits the character.
Not, all those are unlikely scenarios, though. Let's be honest.
But
if it was a real fight between,
works.
Yeah, if you had a real fight between Batman and Superman, Superman would kill him in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
every single time.
But Batman always says, which what I love about the character is that. He said this about Superman once. He said the difference between Clark and I is that deep down, he's a really good person. I'm not. That is the difference.
He's
willing to do what it takes.
If I wanted to, you'd be dead by now. Okay.
Batman is willing to do anything to get the job done, short of killing you, but he will fuck you up. And before we move on, another thing that helped Batman become, again, be all end all in the industry right now, the Arkham games.
Oh,
the Arkham games.
Love the Arkham games.
The Injustice game. All of that, plus with Kevin Conroy doing the voice.
And Joker.
And Mark Hamill doing the Joker. Yeah. And them doing the voice for, the upcoming The Killing Joke. Dude, Batman, look, people rail on Batman v Superman. But guess what? The one thing everybody really liked was Batman. Okay, Batman is one of those characters that you really have to work at, Joel Schumacher, to fuck up. You really have to try to screw up Batman. You know what I'm saying? And you really have to try. Because, it was the most Schumacherian of the Batmans. But Batman, number 2. Numero uno.
Okay. On the list. Number 1 is Superman.
Yep. The granddaddy of them all.
The most
father
iconic
of all superheroes.
Yeah. Up to that point, there weren't really superheroes. There was, most of the time what they did back in the 30s, 38, 37, all they would do was package a whole bunch of newspapers.
Yeah.
Comic book strips together and put them together. Oh, here's 10 cents.
Yeah.
There you go. Then somebody came up, someone in DC said, oh, we can do news stories.
Yeah.
And so what happened was, a couple of writers, a writer and
2 Jews wrote a really cool story about the ultimate immigrant. That's the beauty of Superman. That he became this all-American, this America, and this is about an immigrant. That is awesome. That is really awesome.
Yeah. So Superman came out in, I think, June 38?
1938.
Yeah, 1938, I know that.
Yeah,
but
June 1938.
And it was unique, because he technically is the first superhero.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that before, and they just sold a ridiculous amounts. And you got the radio shows, you got, your little cartoons. So basically everything... between the cartoons, little movies, everything.
Fleischer cartoons in 1944 are still my favorite cartoon version of Superman.
Yeah, those are
Fleischer
pretty cool.
They're excellent. And they kind of, that in the radio show kind of made them, kind of did a big step in writing the rules of today's Superman, because originally in the comic book he couldn't fly.
He couldn't fly, or
or
heat vision. You didn't have that. Yeah, that was all in the radio thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, after
Up and Away came from the radio.
Yeah. So basically. Well, I don't think they really say in the comic books, but...
No, but it became a thing.
Yeah. He was so popular everyone started to imitate him.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, oh, we need another character. There goes Batman. You got Shazam, Captain Marvel. You know, just a list. You know.
I mean, granted, Captain America had serials, Batman had serials, but Superman had a television show. The Adventures of Superman, George Reeves, was so. I mean, because again, up until Christopher Reeve, George Reeves was Superman.
Oh, yeah.
He was the poster. He was Superman. He was it. Other than the comic book version, it was George Reeves' live action version. Then 1978 happened. Superman the movie. A year after Star Wars, the movie happened, and it's like, wait, because the tagline was, wait for it, you'll believe a man can fly. Dude, I shit my pants when I saw that movie the first time. Dude, my afro nearly blew off. This happened when I saw Superman. Star Wars, Jaws started, then Star Wars kind of, punched me in the face, but when I saw Superman, I'm like, they can do this? They can make a superhero movie, and he can fly, and it's really awesome? And dude, here's the problem with Superman. He hasn't really evolved. They've given him more powers, but he's still this big boring blue Boy Scout.
Yeah, because it's hard to write for someone.
It's hard to write for someone like that.
Yeah, you're basically writing for a god, so I mean, it's kind of hard to do.
And unfortunately, again, another line from one of the Batman comic books: Clark, the last time people cared about you was when you died. and what's sad? That's true. Because I remember the whole Superman, that was a big deal when Superman got killed in the comics. That was a huge deal. Hence why ever since Warner Brothers has been trying to get that into a movie. So we have to kill Superman. Okay? I'm glad they got out of their systems. Let me just say that. But that made Superman relevant, and the comic was just selling like crazy. And then a funny thing happened. They brought him back, and the comics stopped selling. It's like they stopped selling as much. It's like, oh, well, he's back now. He went back to being boring, you know. And look, generally speaking, general audience out there, their Superman is Christopher Reeve.
Oh yeah.
They gauged their Superman from. He's the one that most people saw. He was the mass market Superman. Now, the comic book Superman, then there's Christopher Reeve. In terms of live action, there's Christopher Reeve. And, Smallville lasted for, 11 seasons on the strength of, how popular. I mean, it played on, I like how the show played on how goody two-shoes he was and how that was a big hindrance to him. But, again, they've had a hard time updating their character. Because I think the one thing that makes Marvel so strong is that Marvel has always been willing to change with the times. DC has been slow to do that. Hence why, outside of Batman, the most popular characters in DC are bad guys. Think about it. In terms of most popular, in terms of the characters people love, Batman, the Joker, Harley Quinn. You know what I'm saying? So DC's had a hard time kind of keeping Superman not relevant, but not
interesting.
Boring. Yeah.
Once again, you have a guy that can do.
He can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, they show comic books where he sneezes and knocks out a solar system or some stupid crap like that. Yeah. It just when you make somebody that powerful, it's just hard to write for him.
Yeah.
So it's understandable. Batman, regular guy, you can make him have regular problems. That's easy to do. But
Batman's whole thing was what I like about Batman now is what they really focus on now in the comic books and the cartoons and all the mass media stuff is that Batman is a functioning lunatic. Okay, Batman is tiptoeing that line between brilliance and insanity. What happened to him, he watched his parents get blown away in front of him. That really screwed him up. Yeah. Okay? But he's channeled it into his hatred of criminals. But again, he's a functioning lunatic. I mean, the things that he can do, most normal people can't do. Okay? He pushed himself past human limits. In some cases, to be smarter, to be the best fighter, to use every discipline, to be a musician as well, to be the world's greatest detective, to be basically Sherlock Holmes in the but will beat your ass like Mike Tyson and Bruce Lee in their prime. You know what I mean? With a dash of Muhammad Ali. But he's all the things that are just really, again, it says a lot that arguably one of the top 2-3 most popular comic book characters in the world, well, let's be honest, one of the top 2 between him and Spider-Man, has no powers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as popular as Iron Man is now, but again, that's not the comic book character. That's the movie. Yeah. That's the movie character. That's Robert Downey Jr. His suit gives him superpowers. You know, he can fight gods in that suit. You know, he can stand up and fight Thor. He can stand up and fight people that have powers. Batman doesn't have that. Okay, Batman, but again, the general consensus is this: Batman will find a way to beat you. Okay.
Yeah,
he'll find a way to beat you.
I think that's his superpower.
Yes, that is his superpower.
Yeah, more make believe than Superman.
Okay, time out, dude. This is what, like in the Justice League War movie. Green Lantern's standing there, then all of a sudden he depowers, and Batman's holding his ring. What does this do? That's Batman. Okay.
Which technically he can't do, but you know,
how did you do that? You know.
Yeah.
He said, "You'll never do that again." Yeah, if I choose not to, yeah. Or basically, if I don't want to, yeah. If I want to take it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because that's Batman. That's the character everybody... Dude, imagine that everybody buys that with that character. The beauty of the animated series is that, dude, we firmly believe Batman can do anything. Justice League Doom. The whole storyline is about, you know, someone coming in and stealing all the secrets of the Justice League that Batman has. Batman's like, look, I know how to take down every one of them. Just in case. So, dude.
I remember real quick. I seen a Robot Chicken thing where they had the list of everyone.
Yeah.
And he goes, Robin's like, where's my thing? He goes, don't you have a thing for me? And Batman just smacks him in the face.
Dude, they treat them dirty. They treat them dirty.
Smacks him in the face. He's like, I have lists for everybody.
Dude, they treat them dirty. Yeah. And dude, the fact that Batman can have a child, a teenager as his partner, and nobody raises an eyebrow.
He kept a little boy in a cave.
Dude,
come on, man.
That's illegal in some states.
It's like illegal in every state.
But, you know,
that's legal Batman. In Mexico, buddy.
Dude, the fact that character can get away with that and have it not be weird at all is awesome. I mean,
but back then that stuff wasn't.
But now it's like, you know, people bitch and moan about any and everything. Well, all the property damage that is accumulated in these films. I'm like, that's what would happen if Superman fought somebody that had powers like him. Shit would get knocked down.
Yeah.
But
they just like to gripe on a thing.
Yeah. But getting back to Superman is this is what frustrates me about a lot of fans. Superman Returns happened. That movie was essentially built on the strength of Superman the movie. It was an updated version of Superman the movie. And again, Superman the movie worked in 1978, but not in 2006. You make it the same way, people are like, hey, it's boring. There's really no action. Because Superman the movie, as much as I love that movie, it doesn't really have any action in it. It has Superman doing a lot of Superman things, because there's nobody for him to fight. Not until Superman 2. But with Superman Returns, it just, people are like, it's boring. He doesn't punch anything, and summarily ending Bryan Singer's short run in DC.
I thought he made a good Superman.
He made it.
And they had some really freaking amazing freaking shots in that movie.
I think,
but too few in between.
I defer to John Campy on this one. He said something about the movie that I agree with. He said Superman Returns is a really good movie, but it's a terrible superhero movie. Which it is. It's not a good superhero movie. It's a good movie. It's a good... He called it a character study. A character study. It's a good character study. Oh, this guy left for 5 years, and okay, why did he do that? It was kind of stupid. He's just like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that part I didn't like. I didn't like bringing in Kid. That was stupid.
He turned in kind of a stalker, Warner Brothers. Maybe we can have a Superboy movie, blah, blah, blah. But Lex Luthor was, again, obsessed with land, and it was an homage to the 78 version, and it just didn't work. It was just boring. Enter 2013, man, it still happens, and man, Superman's fighting. He's tearing shit up, and it's too violent. That's not what Superman would do. That's not what Superman would do at all.
People talk about he killed him. He's killed him in the comic book like 2 or 3 times. For fuck's sake. So
the Marvel heroes have it, because really of all the big Marvel heroes, the only one who hasn't killed anybody is Spider-Man. Remember, yeah, Spider-Man hasn't killed anybody. I mean, villains have died, but he hasn't physically killed anybody. Ever, you know. Batman used to in the early days of his comics, and yeah. Superman has a couple times, but you know, Captain America, Iron Man, all of them, they've killed people. But it's different because the DC characters are considered gods, even with Batman. Batman's so humanly perfect that he doesn't even kill. He's that much of a badass that he doesn't have to kill you, but he will fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? I will beat you within an inch of your life, but you'll still have a life. What are you talking about, dude? I ain't got nothing below my neck with memories. You know what I'm saying? Said, hey, scratch your nose. I can't.
But hey, you're still alive.
You're still breathing, aren't you? It was a machine.
So there goes our list for you. I mean, you got Captain America.
We should talk a little bit more about Superman.
You want a little more Superman? Okay.
We've been, you know, Batman has been hogging this conversation because he's so damn cool.
Yeah, he's cool, but Batman, I mean, you have to give respect to Superman. And like I said,
Superman, he's the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, he is the father of comic books. It's just plain and simple. No matter how much you say about Batman, whatever, it all starts with Superman.
It's all began with Superman.
Superman punch. I mean, his name's iconic.
You don't even have to have the S. You just have his face up there with the little curl. Oh, that's Superman.
No, or just talk about his S.
His top of the shield, yeah.
His S is so iconic. It's probably one of the most recognized symbols in the world.
Yeah, that, the bat signal, the McDonald's arches, and I forgot what the other two were, the 5 most recognizable symbols or whatnot. Dude, that's all. 2 of them were comic book characters, man. Because you look at the Superman show, Superman. You look at the Batman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, dude, I mean, they're the only 2 superheroes that have attained that. Because you know, Superman, you show his shield, most people will know it's Captain America.
Yeah.
But... No, is that a recruiting poster? You know what I'm saying?
And that's what basically he was for.
That's what he's for. Recruitment. That Superman is, look, I know a lot of people think he's boring and he's hard to write for, and I know we've said that ad nauseum, but they have been doing some really, over the years, especially since he died. They've been really trying to make him more interesting. They've really put forth an effort, and you know they finally gave up the whole Lois doesn't know who he is thing, because again 50 years we're like, dude, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Because dude, I love that they did that in Man of Steel. I'm like, finally, you know what I mean? Because she's supposed to be this top-notch reporter and. Dude, this man, you know, like
before he even knew who he was, he figured out what he didn't know who Clark Kent was.
Oh, like Kevin Smith described. I mean, dude, the guy's chiseled from God's own cock. I mean, of course he's Superman. I can't. Oh, like Pete Holmes is Batman. Thank you, Christian Bale. That's what he should be saying. What? Where's Commissioner Gordon? Where's Commissioner Gordon? Oh, there he is.
So...
Superman's the granddaddy.
Yeah. So he definitely deserves to be on there.
Yes.
I mean,
is he the most popular right now? No, but he's the most recognizable.
Yeah. I mean, they did a huge list, 100 most iconic American things, whatever, and Superman was number 1.
Yeah, Superman,
Number 1.
Everyone knows. I mean... Superman's one of those things that you kind of take for granted just how
he's always
how much in the lexicon. I mean, even if the person knows dick about comic books, they'll know Superman, they'll know Batman, and they'll know Spider-Man. Okay, those 3 they'll always know. That's been since the 1970s, I think. Because Spider-Man, what shocked me about Spider-Man was he got so popular so fast.
Yeah.
Because his comic debut was 64?
62.
I thought it was 64.
62.
62? Okay.
Yeah, 100% guaranteed.
Okay, it was in 62. By the time the mid-70s hit, Spider-Man was, I believe, firmly their most popular character.
Yeah.
And the only thing in terms of Marvel that dethroned Spider-Man was how the X-Men exploded in the late 80s into the 90s. I mean, the X-Men comics just blew up. Okay, they just blew up. But overall, Spider-Man's always been the most popular Marvel property. Period. And hence why he's one of the 4 on Mount Rushmore, baby. I know there was a lot of, well, what about Wonder Woman? Look.
First female, yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Wonder Woman's an awesome character. She's the first female superhero, but honestly, you put her on Mount Rushmore, and sadly, everybody will assume it's Wonder Woman because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And that's I know it's fucked up to say that, but that's just real.
And then everyone will be like, "Oh, she's on there because she's a woman." I mean,
look, honestly, she debuted what
42, 43?
I know she debuted. It was right after Cap, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's like 42 or 43, I believe.
Because Cap was in 40 or 41. Cap was in 41.
41, yes.
41, and she was in 42. Yes, it was about a year difference.
She had she had a brief cameo in one of the, I can't remember what the comic book was.
Oh, okay.
She had a brief cameo. She wasn't even on the cover. I mean,
yeah,
it's like Justice, or I can't remember what it was, but I'll have to look it up. But and she had a brief little story in the back.
And look, don't get it twisted. We debated big time about should it be Cap or should it be Wonder Woman. Ultimately, I mean, you can't disregard how popular the character is and how recognizable the character has become over the years. And he edged out Wonder, because again, if there was a 5th spot, yeah, Wonder Woman would go on it. But those are, again, just our opinion. I
don't care. It should be a fact. I don't care about our opinion. That should be a fact. Those 4 characters are special.
Well, I know it's a fact for 3 of them. Some people debate Cap, some people debate Wonder Woman, some people even think, oh, it should be Iron Man easily.
No, fuck no.
It should be Iron Man easily because he's the most popular superhero character right now. He's not the most popular.
No, he's not.
He's one of the most popular.
He's one of the most popular movie characters, not a comic book character.
Yes,
I mean, like I said, you get when you talk about Iron Man, you're talking about people that really don't know comic books. If you got to talk about people that know comic books, I mean, here's the best example. I was in the comic store, and they were talking about Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about Hal Jordan, and Hal Jordan, he goes, oh, I like the black guy. And you talk about Hal Jordan, she goes, there's a white Green Lantern? People, I mean, the guy was like, yeah. He was like, when did he come out? And this is a true story, too. The girl's like, I didn't know that. Because what you see is, we see in
Justice League Unlimited.
Justice League Unlimited. You see it like in the movies. Just because they're popular in the movies doesn't mean they're really popular in the comic books. Because those people will absolutely love the movies, but will care a dick about the comic books.
A lot of people don't know that Nick Fury used to be white. Only people that really remember that is comic book fans and David Hasselhoff.
Oh, fuck.
Because he played him. I think the public wants to see me in that part.
No, we don't.
I'm sorry.
But in the Ultimate Universe, if you ever seen that Ultimate Universe, Nick Fury, it is actual Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. They took his likeness.
Yeah, and Sam's like, oh, cool. At least I got a movie job coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just simple. He's the most popular character. He's the most popular movie character. Between movie characters and comic book characters, there's a huge difference. You ask any hardcore comic book fan, they'll say it's Captain America, and they'll say it's Spider-Man, they'll say it's Batman, and they'll say it's Superman.
Well, you ask people, okay, tell me about Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.
That's it. It's just like him.
You don't say Batman Christian Bale. You don't say Batman Michael Keaton. You don't say Batman Ben Affleck. You say Batman. Okay? It's the character.
Because there is a difference. There's a huge difference. And that's what people mistake.
The most popular thing is the Kevin Conroy Batman.
Yeah, it's
Batman from the animated series, Justice League, and the Arkham games.
Because it is 2 different things. People go, and some people, he's in a comic book? It's like, yeah, people know him from the movies, and that's it.
Iron Man was made popular by Robert Downey Jr.
Yes. Everyone said, who's Iron Man? Well, I've known Iron Man since I was a kid.
Look, no offense to Iron Man fans, never been a big Iron Man comic book fan. I didn't really like Iron Man until I read The Ultimate Avengers. Other than that, Robert Downey Jr. has made the character awesome. Okay, when you see the character in the movies, granted, not a fan of Iron Man 2, not a fan of Iron Man 3, but the 3 movies, gonna be 4 now, that Marvel has released, Marvel Disney have released, that have made over $1 billion, all 4 of them have Robert Downey Jr. in them. Avengers 1 and 2, Civil War, because it's gonna make over $1 billion.
Oh, yeah,
Don't get it twisted. And Iron Man 3, which I thought wasn't that great of a movie, but
up to a point was a great movie, but
up to a point, then something happened.
Trevor.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it just really bad after that. But
and again, I'm like, I think they're gonna find. I'm like, wait, just back to back after the awesomeness of Loki, you're gonna have the Mandarin. Two back to back awesome villains. What? And no.
So when we're talking about comic characters, we're actually talking about comic characters.
Characters.
We're not talking about movie comic characters.
Yeah.
So those are our 4. There is our 4 for Mount Rushmore.
Yes, that is our Mount Rushmore for comic book superheroes. And episode 2 of the Mount Rushmore of, we're still debating.
I think we'll do directors.
Directors?
You want to do directors?
Yeah, we can do directors.
We can do directors.
That'll be an interesting conversation. Yeah. That'll be an interesting one.
So that will be it, I guess. I am Ice. That is Tank. We're Pop Culture Kings.
Time out.
But
we could also do the Mount Rushmore of movie superheroes. Ha!
No. Here goes. Who played them? Who were the best? Who were the best characters to actually play?
Yeah, because if a Batman character is going to go on the Plymouth Rock, it has to be the best guys in terms of, is the animated series Batman, is the Michael Keaton?
No, we'll do movies, but it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a man. Who played them the best?
Yes.
So that's what we'll do next. That one we'll do really soon.
Yes.
So like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube and Tumblr.
PCK, baby. PCK.
So check us out next time. We'll see you.
Deuces.